Ford built a hot hatch that could have been a legend, but almost everyone forgot it existed. Back in the early 1990s, America was falling in love with sporty compact cars. Enthusiasts were lining up for the Honda Civic Si, Acura Integra, Volkswagen GTI, and Nissan Sentra SE-R. These cars became legends, praised for their performance and reliability. But hidden in Ford dealerships was another hot hatch that had all the right ingredients to be a star: the 1992 Ford Escort GT 5-speed. It had a rev-happy dual overhead cam engine, a 5-speed manual transmission, 4-wheel disc brakes, and a suspension that was far more sophisticated than most people expected. So why isn't the Escort GT remembered the same way as its rivals? Let's find out. At first glance, the Escort GT looked nothing like the standard Escort. Ford gave it a redesigned grille, sporty side skirts, front and rear spoilers, integrated fog lights, and attractive 15-inch aluminum wheels. Finished in Oxford white, it looked clean, sporty, and perfectly captured the spirit of the early 90s. Unlike many modern performance cars that rely on aggressive styling, the Escort GT kept things simple. It looked fast without trying too hard, and that's exactly why many enthusiasts still appreciate its timeless design today. Being a 3-door hatchback also made it incredibly practical. Whether it was groceries, camping gear, or luggage for a weekend getaway, the Escort GT offered plenty of cargo space while still delivering the fun of a sporty compact. But the real story begins under the hood. Power comes from a 1.8-liter DOHC inline-4 equipped with multi-port fuel injection and 4 valves per cylinder. From the factory, it produced 127 horsepower and 114 pound-feet of torque. Those numbers may not sound impressive today, but context matters. The Escort GT was much lighter than today's compact cars, giving it a lively personality that made every horsepower count. More importantly, this wasn't an engine that begged you to shift early. It loved to rev, pulling smoothly all the way to its 7,000 revolutions per minute redline and rewarding drivers who weren't afraid to keep their foot down. Helping deliver that excitement was one of the car's biggest highlights: a 5-speed manual transmission. No paddle shifters, no driving modes, no complicated electronics, just 3 pedals and complete control over the driving experience. Every shift reminded drivers why manual transmissions were once the heart of affordable performance cars. It wasn't about having the biggest engine. It was about feeling connected to the road. Ford didn't stop with the powertrain. The Escort GT also received a handling-tuned suspension with larger stabilizer bars than the standard Escort. Even more impressive, it featured a fully independent rear suspension, something that wasn't common among affordable compact cars at the time. The result was predictable handling, impressive cornering grip, and a car that felt eager to tackle winding roads. Another feature that set it apart was its braking system. While many competitors still relied on rear drum brakes, the Escort GT came equipped with 4-wheel disc brakes, giving drivers better stopping power and more confidence during spirited driving. Inside, the Escort GT combined sporty character with everyday comfort. The front bucket seats were upholstered in titanium cloth with distinctive red piping, giving the cabin a subtle performance feel without becoming flashy. The dashboard was simple and easy to read, featuring a 120-mile-per-hour speedometer, a tachometer with a 7,000 revolutions per minute redline, and straightforward gauges for coolant temperature and fuel level. There were no touchscreens or complicated menus. Everything was designed to help the driver focus on the road. Despite being an affordable hatchback, Ford included several comfort features that made daily driving enjoyable, including air conditioning, cruise control, power-adjustable mirrors, and an AM/FM cassette stereo connected to an optional premium sound system. One of the most unusual features by today's standards was the automatic shoulder belts. Before airbags became standard across the industry, several automakers experimented with motorized seat belts that automatically moved into position when the door closed. It's one of those fascinating details that instantly reminds you this car came from a very different era of automotive history. Here's another fact that many people don't know. Although the Escort GT proudly wore a Ford badge, its 1.8-liter DOHC engine benefited from Ford's engineering partnership with Mazda. That collaboration helped create an engine known for its smooth power delivery, reliability, and willingness to rev. It was a combination of American styling and Japanese engineering that gave the Escort GT a personality all its own. The example we're looking at today is an especially well-preserved survivor. It spent much of its life in California before eventually making its way to New Jersey. Showing just over 81,000 miles, it also comes with a clean Carfax report, meaning no reported accidents or damage during its recorded history. Cars like this are becoming harder to find every year. Many Escort GTs were modified, driven hard, or simply disappeared after decades of daily use. Finding an original, well-maintained example has become increasingly difficult, and that's exactly why collectors are beginning to notice them. The Escort GT may never have reached the legendary status of the Civic Si or the Volkswagen GTI, but numbers don't always tell the whole story. Sometimes the best drivers' cars aren't the fastest. They're the ones that make every trip to work, every back road, and every weekend drive feel like an adventure. The 1992 Ford Escort GT 5-speed was exactly that kind of car. Lightweight, practical, reliable, and genuinely fun to drive, it proved that you didn't need huge horsepower or an expensive price tag to build a car people would remember. More than 30 years later, this forgotten Ford is finally getting the appreciation it always deserved. So what do you think? Was the 1992 Ford Escort GT one of the most underrated hot hatches of the 1990s, or did another forgotten compact deserve that title? Let us know in the comments. And if you enjoyed this video, don't forget to like, subscribe, and join us for more stories about the classic American cars that time almost forgot.